Hey everyone, it's the Queen of Lions here. Now I know I said my pretties, but I said hey everyone because just wanted to spice things up a little bit. Now today, welcome back to a episode of Shadows and Pretties. This is 123, and today I'm gonna be talking about a different type of movie. Now today I'm gonna be talking about this 2006 horror comedy film called Black Sheep. Now, this one was filmed in New Zealand, and Jonathan King is the director. So, I decided to take a look at this movie. I didn't find this movie to be like a bad movie at all. I saw this movie, I think, in 2014, maybe 2013. I can't honestly remember. But I do remember I watched it at one point. So, yeah, now to now I'm gonna simply sit here and say it was being made in New Zealand, a comedy horror film in 2006. It was released to the public in 2007. So about this movie was made in New Zealand, which it takes place at New Zealand at the time. So yeah. Now, I'm gonna definitely say this right now. I actually found this movie to be a decent movie. Maybe not the best zombie film I've seen, but it involves zombie sheep, which is pretty interesting, at least from my personal note. That is. So, all right. I'm going to be talking about, the plot of this movie, just kind of give it, what it's about, let you guys know what the movie is about in case if you guys are all wanting to know. So, there's this young boy named Henry Oldfield who lives on a sheep farm in New Zealand with his father and his older brother Angus. After witnessing his father's pride on Henry's natural ability at farming, Angus plays a cruel prank on him by involving a bloody corpse of one of his pet sheep. Just moments before Miss Mack, the farm's housekeeper, comes to tell the boys that their father has been killed in an accident. The combined shock of these two incidents led Henry to develop a phobia for sheep. So, 15 years later, Henry returns home to sell his share of the family farm to Angus. And unknown to Henry, Angus is carrying out a secret genetic experiments that transform sheep into docile vegetarians, into ferocious carnivores that can bite and transform humans into bloodthirsty half-sheep monstrosity. Now, it looks like a pretty interesting zombie film combined with this. It's a bit of a zombie movie, but not really a zombie movie, but it's with sheep. Which, I mean, I think it's kind of creative that they sat there and did that. Having, sheep turn into, zombie sheep and they bite other people. I mean, it's a pretty interesting, zombie film. It's pretty interesting, seeing, zombie sheep biting, everybody and turn them into were sheep. I mean, I think it's kind of it's very creative. I've seen zombie films that are pretty good, but for some reason Black Sheep manages to do it pretty well. I mean, I think it's creative of how they do that, It's not just any zombie movie, it's just a pretty interesting, Black Sheep movie that involves, sheep and zombie and turn into zombies in that, which I think it's kind of I think it's most likely creative to an extent. It's very creative that they did this cuz you don't really see a lot of zombie films do anything that Black Sheep did. You've never seen zombie movies that do that. Not a lot of zombie movies really do tend to do that. I don't know why, but not a lot of zombie films do that nowadays. Although I haven't watched this movie since I think the last time I saw it I was in high school. Yeah, I was most likely in high school when I first saw this one. And this one was pretty interesting with the concept in that. So now a pair of environmental activists or ists named Grant and Experience who accidentally released a mutant lamb into and a flea in a pack, but of course the lamb bites Grant and infects him, and then the lamb then escapes into the fields and infects the other sheep. So Henry and his friend Tucker visit the farm and notice that one of the sheep refuses to run away. The Experience steals a rifle from the car to fight off the sheep. So the Free's son soon team up to investigate the farmhouse. They soon discovered that the farmer's mutilated body, the Henry sees that sheep in the hallway half, and because of his phobia, he quietly shuts the door and locks it as the sheep tries to crash through the door. Now Tucker shoots one of the sheep, and on the other hand end of the farm, Angus is driving around when he sees Grant. So Grant bites Angus and runs off. So Tucker, Experience, and Henry try to leave to warn Angus about the killer sheep, but a sheep had been hiding in the car bites Tucker, and after the car is destroyed, they seek refuge in the laboratory. So Henry and Tucker finally realize that Angus is conducting a humane experience with one of the scientists, that Tucker's foot has now become a sheep's foot, but she keeps there for study. But Experience and Henry escape when Angus could not bring himself to shoot his own brother. So later on we see flocks of sheep running down a hill towards an awful pit surrounded by the gate. When Henry accidentally slips into the pit and Angus refuses to help, Henry and Experience end up falling into the pit, but they escape through the tunnels. Meanwhile, Tucker transforms into a sheep, but the scientists have an injection of amniotic fluid from one of the mutant lambs, which transforms him back to the human. But when she sees and goes to give the shot to Angus, she gets eaten by the sheep. Angus then presents the businessman about his genetic engineered sheep, but the businessmen are soon slaughtered by the infected sheep. And when Henry and Experience try to warn Angus, they had discovered that he has a love for sheep. Now, I'm not going to say exactly what Angus did or anything, or say the actual word. I mean, it's pretty disgusting. I'm not going to say it, but if you've seen the movie, you probably already know, but yeah. And they leave in disgust. When Henry realizes that he has been infected as a sheep and no longer attacking Marangus, Henry and Experience try to go their separate ways, but ends up fighting with his own brother, who is now transformed into a gargantuan when as a sheep, a were-sheep monster. However, only intelligent as a sheep, Angus keeps in check with Henry as the farm's sheepdog, while he is cornered by another dog. Resolving the propeller of the family cuts into Angus. Of course, it wounds him badly, but Experience and Tucker suddenly arrive and disinfect Angus and Henry with more amniotic fluid, administered by the medicine from nozzle designed for sheep. So Angus, but of course the human goes mad, goes back to the sheep and tell them to bite him again, but of course the sheep are driven mad by the smell of blood, and they kill and eat Angus alive. So eventually all the sheep are contained and then killed by a giant bonfire of the basically of the ignited sheep floatants. I think that's what it's called. I'm very sorry I don't pronounce words very correctly. That's something I really am not that great at. Unless somebody, reads it to me. And then the cure isn't given to the surviving were-sheep people, including Grant. However, the sheepdog begins the bleating, and that's basically the movie ends. Now, what's my opinion on this movie? Well, now since I actually have sat there and, talked about the movie, I'm going to give out my, thoughts on this story. I didn't find this one to be a terrible story at all. I still find it to be really interesting that they use, sheep as zombies and, like zombie sheep. And I like the idea of a were sheep, being, if a human gets bitten, they turn into a were sheep. I mean, that's pretty interesting when it came to that concept. Like, I really like how they decide to use sheep, not just any regular zombie, but zombie sheep and were sheep. I mean, that's pretty epic, come to think of it. Like, I think that's just really creative on how they would do that, because, a lot of zombie movies don't really come up with anything original with plot lines or anything. I mean, yeah, there's a couple zombie movies that did good, but I mean, most of them don't really come up with good plot lines or even something original. But for Black Sheep, on the other hand, it actually worked out pretty well, and it actually had a really good, concept going for it. Like, I really find the movie to be quite interesting, and it's still pretty good. Like, I mean, if you don't like it, that's fine. I don't have a problem if you don't like it. Like, if you don't like the concept of the movie of what it is, that's perfectly fine because I'm totally understanding with your opinion. I still find this one to be, a really good, original zombie movie. Although it's a bit, different, but I still find it to be a pretty good concept for a movie itself because not a lot of zombie movies really do a whole lot of originality nowadays, but this one actually provides pretty good concept. So, I actually have to say, this movie was not a bad movie. I found it to be pretty enjoyable. And yeah, this one was filmed in New Zealand, like I said before. It was filmed in New Zealand in 2006, and it came out sometime in 2007. What did I think of it? I actually found it to be, quite enjoyable. I mean, the plot line and everything, it seemed to be a pretty original concept for of how the movie went out. I mean, yes, it's a pretty amazing concept for a movie, and it actually plays out well. I mean, I do like how original the plot of it is and how original, that it would be. Instead of just, infected humans, it's focusing on, zombified sheep, which I mean, I think it's pretty cool that they did that because, I mean, I thought it was just going to be, regular zombies or something, but apparently this doesn't appear to be the case. I still really like how original that this one did have. Instead of just the humans becoming affected where zombies and all that, it actually is, no, actually the sheep getting to be zombies first, and then when they bite into a human, they become a were-sheep. I mean, I actually really like the concept of the movie of its own self. It's still a pretty, it's funny here and there. Like, I've seen some, funny, concept. I mean, there is some, messed up jokes in there, like messed up concept of certain jokes in there, which I wasn't really a fan of the messed up jokes, especially what Angus did to one of the sheep. Well, I'm not gonna say what he did because yeah, it's not ad friendly. I'll just say if I go into that detail, it will basically, not be ad friendly. But if you want to watch the movie, I think there's a full movie of it on YouTube you could watch. I mean, there's a lot of, well, clips of, the movie of its own self. If you want to watch it, that's fine. Like, I think it's on YouTube or something. I think you can go and watch it if you like. But yeah, anyways, I mean, this is actually a pretty good original, concept for a zombie film. I personally find it enjoyable. If you're a fan of zombies, then I highly recommend you go check out this movie if you haven't. And if you're not a fan of zombies, that's understandable because I understand not everyone's a fan of zombies and I respect everyone's opinions. Opinions are respected, but I will not tolerate any opinion bashers. Opinion bashing will not be tolerated in my channel. So, yeah. Anyways, with that being the case, that being said, what did you guys think about this movie? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what you have done personally to help make the movie a lot better? Feel free to leave me now what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and if you're new to my channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, I'll be seeing. Oh, pardon me about that. I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out. And as always, I'll see you all next time.